More in our control of what we can see and do is enjoyment of the cosmos and the skies that we can see with or without aid. And certainly one of the things, at least as I go back to being a kid, summers meant maybe staying up a little late out with dad, mom, and the family and watching some meteor showers. Now we're coming off a couple that are just kind of had their peak as we dropped this podcast here on the last Friday of July. The last couple of days, we've seen the peaks of the southern Delta Aquariids and the Alpha Capricornids. But the big show in the sky this late summer and into the early fall looks like it's going to be the Perseids this year, which it has a special place in my heart here because when I was a kid, we used to go up to our cabin up in north central Pennsylvania near Ricketts Glen State Park. And we used to go, well, we spotted deer. And if folks don't know what that is all about, if you're in Pennsylvania, it's something folks do. They go out at night and look at deer that are out and about with a spotlight. We'd go to a field, Brian, that not affected by any light pollution, turn off the car lights, let our eyes acclimate, see the Milky Way in front of us, and then just start counting Perseid meteors here in the month of August. Talk about when the peak of the Perseids is coming up and what we can expect. What meteor showers wane and wax in terms of how good they are at times? Is they thinking this is going to be a good year or maybe a little bit less than normal year?
So this year with the Perseids, if you're only going to watch one meteor shower this year, this has got to be it. Compared to last year, this year is going to be a lot better. The moon is not going to be in the sky. Last year, the full moon was up for the peak of the Perseids.
I remember,
and that really cuts down on the number of meteors you could see per hour because the moon is just so bright, that natural light pollution. But this year, it's just a thin crescent moon that's going to be up for a small portion of the night. And the rest of the night's going to be completely dark. So head out to that dark area, turn off all the lights. Don't look at your cell phone. And you could see as many as 60 to 100 meteors per hour, which there's not many meteor showers every year that can reach that high. There's only one other one that happens in the wintertime when it's really cold. So.
Right. You don't want to be out then. So what, August 12th, 13th, does that seem like the peak this year of the Perseids?
So the peak this year is, I believe, a Wednesday night, August 11th into the 12th. If you have bad weather that night, look for the night before, the night after. They're still pretty active. It's not just one night and it's done. It's over a long period of time, but that night of the 11th into the 12th, that is the absolute best night to look. You'll be able to start to see some shooting stars streaking across the sky as soon as nightfall, but they'll slowly ramp up more and more heading into 2, 3, 4 a.m. if you're up for staying up that late.
A lot of times these get their names in terms of we call them the Perseids, because this comes from near the constellation Perseus. At least that's where it appears these meteors come from as they're streaking through the sky.
Yeah, that's a good point to bring up. They all originate from near that constellation that has its namesake, the Perseid meteor shower. But the important thing is you don't need to stare in that direction. You don't need to look directly at that constellation. Meteors are going to appear all over the night sky. So kind of sounds like I'm being sarcastic, but just look up. Just look to the area of the sky where you have the widest view that you can possibly get. Just lay back, maybe put a towel on the ground and just soak in the night sky and start counting.
To listen to the full episode, just click the links below. And never miss a podcast by subscribing to Everything Under the Sun on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. New episodes every Friday.